The testicle in the male and the ovaries in the female. Gonad. Individuals having the same sire or dam. Half-sibs. Causing a group of cows or heifers to exhibit heat together at one time by artificial manipulation of the estrous cycle. Heat synchronization. A female of the cattle species less than 3 years of age that has not borne a calf. Heifer. Group of cattle that are in a similar management program. Herd. The transmission of genetic or physical traits of parents to their offspring. Heredity. Skin from cattle. Hide. Production of offspring from parents more closely related than the average of a population. Inbreeding. Earthen storage structure with sufficient dilution water added to allow microorganisms to biodegrade and treat organic matter. Lagoon. The specks of fat distributed in the muscular tissue. It is usually evaluated in the ribeye between the 12th and 13th rib. Marbling. An unbranded bovine of either sex in the USA and Canada. Maverick. Tissue of the animal body that are used for food. Meat. The weight of the animal raised to the 3/4 power, a figure indicative of metabolic needs and of the feed required to maintain a certain body weight. Metabolic body size. The transformation by which energy is made available for body uses. Metabolism. A term commonly used to indicate a non-pregnant female. Open. Mating of individuals that are less closely related than the average of the breed. Outcrossing. Release of the female germ cell by the ovary. Ovulation. The act of giving birth in cattle. Calving. A tabulation of names of ancestors, usually only those of the 3 to 5 closest generations. Pedigree. The record of the individual animal for reproduction, production, and possibly carcass merit. Traits included would be birth, weaning and yearling weights, calving ease, calving interval, milk reproduction, etc. Performance data. The visible or measurable expression of a character, for example, a weaning weight, post-weaning gain, reproduction, etc. Phenotype. Naturally hornless cattle. Polled. Traits that directly influence cost or revenue from beef cattle production, for example growth rate, feed intake and carcass merit. Production traits. Evaluating the genotype of an individual by a study of its progeny records. Progeny testing. The age at which the reproductive organs become functionally operative and secondary sex characteristics begin to develop. Puberty. An animal of known ancestry within a recognized breed that is eligible for registry in the official herd book of that breed. Purebred. Those traits in which there is sharp distinction between phenotypes, such as black and white or polled and horned. Qualitative traits. Those traits in which there is no sharp distinction between phenotypes, with a gradual variation from one phenotype to another, such as weaning weight. Quantitative traits. A system of mating where every female has an equal or random chance of being assigned to any bull used for breeding in a particular breeding season. Random mating. Feed fed to an animal during a 24-hour period. Ratio. Feed that is high in fiber, low in digestible nutrients, and low in energy. Roughage. Mammal whose stomach has 4 parts: rumen, reticulum, omasum, and abomasum. Cattle, sheep, goats, deer, and elk are ruminants. Ruminant. Horny tissue of rudimentary horns that are attached to the skin rather than the bony parts of the head. Scurs. Causing or allowing certain individuals in a population to produce offspring in the next generation. Selection. Brothers and sisters of an individual. Sibs. Bovine male castrated prior to puberty. Steer. The agency mandated to ensure accelerated development of the Philippines dairy industry, created through the National Dairy Development Act of 1995. National Dairy Authority. Another agency committed to improve the dairy industry by developing the Carabao to become meat and milk producing animal. Philippine Carabao Center. An institution mandated to carry out research and training in dairy production and milk technologies. DTRIUPLB. The Philippine dairy industry is sometimes regarded as industry. Milk reprocessing repacking industry. Most of the major dairy cattle and goats breeds originated from and Europe, North America. Majority of the dairy buffaloes in the world are in blank and blank. Indian and Pakistan. Some countries in Europe like and are also known to raise dairy buffaloes. Italy and Bulgaria. A milk-producing country noted for its cheap milk, where majority of the milk imported by the Philippines come from. New Zealand. Group of animals belonging to the mammalia possessing mammary glands that are used to nourish young ones. Mammals. The shape of dairy cattle that differs with the rectangular shape of beef cattle. Triangular wedge shape. The dairy type water buffalo. Riverine. A famous milk type buffalo from India. Mara. A popular dairy cattle breed from Pakistan. Sahiwal. A milk type buffalo originated from Pakistan. Nilai Ravi. Buffalo breed developed in Bulgaria. Bulgarian buffalo. A buffalo breed whose horns coil downward and upward and streaks of white markings found around its jaw and brisket. Japrapadi. The mestizo or hybrid buffalo used partly for milk production in the Philippines is a cross between the blank and Philippine Carabao X Mara buffalo. A popular crossbred dairy cattle used by many dairy raisers in the Philippines. Holstein Friesian X Sahiwal.